Not easy being the fastest quarterback you've never seen. I'll be right back. There's no quicker way to get into DFS. Play Super Draft today and see for yourself.
Welcome, everyone, to the CTS Thursday night Bama Smoke. We are happy, and I am ecstatic. This is a special edition. The Smoke guys got kind of a little scared, so they want to go back to old school to the original creators of the Bama Smoke. So they brought on myself, Spencer, and let me introduce the lead man, the lead horse for CTS Rolling with the Tide on Tuesday night. The four horsemen, the lead horseman, my buddy, my friend, Rise Up and Roll Tide. How you doing, sir? Yes, I said that backwards on purpose. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, brother. I'm fine. And yourself?
Oh, doing great, man. I'm loving this, man. They're having to come back to the original creators of the smoke.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, we go over to Tuesday nights prime time. We starting a fire so they can have a little smoke on Thursday night. And they had to come back to us because nobody would show up. I don't know what their problem is, but nobody would show up. But the four horsemen did.
The four horsemen. 2/4 of the horsemen, baby. We're here.
There you go, brother. Hey, real quick, let me get into it. Our topic tonight that was brought up here, can Alabama lose 3 games this season? What do you think?
Can they lose 3? If they're not focused and ready to play, it's possible, but will they lose 3? I don't think they will lose 3. Coming off of last year, like I said, we exceeded expectations really last year. I know we made it to the championship game and we didn't win, and it was a big letdown for all of us Bama fans.
Right.
Because we kind of, saw us shoot ourselves in the foot, so to speak.
Right.
So I think this year we will come back more focused, locked in, ready to redeem the Bama standard, who we are, how we do things, what Saban expects from his team as far as the players, his team as far as the coaches. So I don't see us losing 3 games this year. I mean, anything is possible, but I think this year we're going to be locked and loaded, ready to roll tide, baby.
Well, I do see your point, and I really have to agree with it. Because can we lose 4 games or 3 games? Yes, we definitely can. It's happened in the past when we've had the better team. We've had the better coaching, but we lost. Why did we lose? Because the mindset of the guys wasn't ready.
Right.
They thought they were better than they were.
Right.
So can it happen? Yes, it can. But will it happen this year? Oh, hell no. I'm sorry. And I do apologize to everybody. I'm a 4 horseman. Normally, I got the MA up there. I'm going to keep it calm tonight. I promise. I'm going to keep it calm. But, no, I don't see it happening at all. because these guys they felt the pain last year.
They did.
And it was serious pain. They were
Yes.
right there. What I think is so hilarious about it, because if you really think about it, I mean, as true Alabama fans like we are, we always want them to be there every single year, and we expect it. We
Every
want
year.
it. We desire it. We
Yes.
eat it. We drink it. We believe
Yes.
it. We pray
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
But last year we knew it's a young team.
Young team.
Way too young of a team.
Right.
We lost a lot.
We lost a lot.
And if you was a true Bama fan, you looked at last year as being a semi-rebuilding year.
Yes.
We lost so much. I mean, seriously.
Right. We did.
But for them to get all the way to the championship game,
Right.
I mean, with the mistakes on defense, a lot of them made for secondary, couldn't turn their heads around, a lot of them.
Yes.
A lot of penalties out the yang.
Right.
Offensive line, don't know where they were.
Right.
Really don't know. There was a lot of growing pains all year long that for us to get there was actually from God. I ain't gonna lie about it. It was, because, I mean, look, we had Auburn. It's hard to say that name. I had to say it a few times to get it out. I mean, they took us to overtimes. And we should have wiped the field with them. We should have. But we didn't. Right. It took an outstanding catch in overtime for us to win that game. And that's sad. I'm sorry, it's sad. Even though the Auburn game is always tight. We both could be 0-9 going in that game, both of us, and that still would be the game of the season. Right. That I will not deny.
Right.
But good Lord, we got there. We were that close. Mm-hmm. And it only took. It would have took just a couple of players having their mind right.
Right.
We still would have beat Georgia.
Right. We would have.
I'm sorry.
And what you're saying that the injury bug wouldn't have really mattered. I don't like to use excuses. Right. We had a lot of injuries. You look at the running back room; those guys were banged up. Wide receivers, we got our guys banged up. But if those backups or the second group, whatever you want to call them, had their minds right, did what they needed to do in practice, we would have been okay. I really believe we would have been okay. But hey, we can't cry over spoiled milk, spilled milk, whatever the case may be. We just got to, put our nose down, keep grinding. And I think this year coming up, this season, it left a sour taste. I know it left a sour taste in Will Anderson now, the way that guy played. It left a sour taste in Bryce Young's mouth. And a couple other people backs, like who got hurt, they want to come back and redeem themselves and show like, hey, listen, that's not who we are. That's not how we play ball. So it is what it is. We're not losing 3 games this season. We're not. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, I cannot even imagine what Bryce Young mindset is. That man did everything he could possibly do.
Right.
He did not have the best blocking, sometimes no blocking at all last year.
Right.
He got sacked, 43 times last year?
Right.
He was putting the ball where it needed to be,
putting
it in their hands, doing everything right. I mean, there's only a couple little things if we want to pick at him. We can pick at him. Yes, he underthrew a little bit on Williams, and he had to stop. The reason he twisted his knee.
Right.
I mean, we can really pick at it.
Right.
But on that game, if the people would just held on to the ball that hit their hands,
Right.
And
In the end zone, man.
he put it there. Well,
Right.
not on the end zone, first downs, everything. He put it right there.
Right.
So I know he has to be beating his head against the wall going, what else can I do?
Right.
I read it. I took the hit. I delivered. I read it, and they didn't catch it.
Right.
And we lost.
We lost.
So for this man to be this strong and this, I guess the best way to put it, a preacher.
Right.
Having the belief in Alabama, the belief in Nick Saban,
Yeah.
the belief in the fans, the belief in the field, the belief in himself.
Right.
It's just amazing to me.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. It's amazing to me because he is the Messiah. Sorry. I did not believe it. I ain't lying about it. I didn't believe in him. I didn't. I looked at his size. I looked at the offensive line, and I'm going, he can't even see over his center. How is he going to do it?
Right.
He proved this man wrong.
Right.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah, he proved a lot of
That's
people
my
wrong.
life. I'm not often wrong.
Right.
Out of 25 years, I've got written on the calendar, I've been wrong 6 times out of 25 years. I write it on the calendar. Baby, you're right. Right here. You're right on this day. And Bryce Young has proved me wrong.
Right.
I mean, what do you think?
Right. I mean, I agree with you 100%. And I think with us losing the championship in the fashion that we did, that Heisman Trophy he won, it took all the joy out of it because it's nice to have it. Don't get me wrong. It's a great accolade. It's a great accomplishment. But that's not the ultimate goal. So I win this, but I lose the real deal, the goal that I was really aiming for. I would rather have the championship versus the Heisman. So I think that took some of the sweetness off of him winning the Heisman. Like you won the Heisman, but you didn't win the championship. Only a selfish person would say, I want a Heisman, so I don't care about the rest. Me. Right. And we all know Nick Saban don't like me players. We're a team. So, so that's why I say they're going to come back focused. They're going to come back ready. They're going to come back hungry. They have a lot to prove. That Auburn game, that Texas A&M game, and
that's a whole different story on that one now.
And this is what game people forget about. Forget about the Miami game because we had the Miami game in the bag in the first, and all of a sudden we're fighting tooth and nails to win this thing.
Yes.
And I know it's the first game. Not the Miami game. I'm sorry. Let me back up. The Florida Gator game, not the Miami game.
Oh, Florida Gator. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Gator
still,
game.
It's the same state.
Right.
I mean, a little penis signs off. Yeah, same state.
But I know it's the first season opener as far as the SEC is concerned, but still, we had them. We were moving the ball. We were getting touchdown. Everything was going, and then all of a sudden, it looked like somebody unplugged the machine, and we forgot how to play football. And even a lot of people said I would rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss, and I agree. I agree with that. I'd rather have a win than a loss. But when you badly win like that, when you had the lead, and you're better than this team,
it hurts.
You're better than this team. Come on, man. We know we're better than Florida. It's like, wow. So
you're so right, bro. I mean, I'm not a betting man. Now, granted, in the past, I bet little parlay from here to here. Yes, I will do that. I'm going to deny that. I'm not a betting man. So I'm not one of them that goes, you got to run the points up. You got to do that. You got to do that. Except for Texas A&M this year. We need to beat them by 60. But besides that, anyway, there's certain teams that, run the points up. But on that game, With Florida, it's like, why did you stop? What? I mean, what? I mean, you ain't even calling a running play that's going to do anything.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, really? That's simple. They got 3 people to stop that play.
Right.
I mean, so that's been one of mine and yours. We agree on this.
Right.
Our problem we've had with our offensive coordinator, Coach O, and I ain't talking about Coach O. I'm talking about Alabama's Coach O.
Coach Biello
is he will not adjust to the lack of production in the offense, no matter where it's at. Right. It's offensive line, running back, tight ends, whatever it might be.
Right.
He don't adjust to it. He just keeps calling the same play like there's nothing wrong.
Right.
And that's where me and you both agree that he's got to adjust this year.
Right.
And me personally, I think the only way it's going to happen is Nick Saban make his ass on the field. Get out of that air-conditioned booth up there. Get down there and sweat with the guys.
Right.
See them, their eyes when they come off. Are they scared?
Right.
Go for it.
Exactly. That's what, I had posted, I forget which Alabama group it was on Facebook. And I just said, I wish Bill O'Brien would come down out of the booth on the sideline. And man, those Bama fans, they ate me up for that. Like he doing that. I understand. But what I'm saying is, when you have players on the field making mistakes, when they come off the field, you got a chance to get in their face and say, "Hey, listen, I need you to get it together." You're talking to this young man,
right,
face to face, and you let them know, like, I'm disappointed. I know you're better than this. And give him some pointers. You can coach him up right then and there on the sideline. You can't do it in the booth. You can coach him up on the sideline. Draw a play right quick, do this, that, whatever you got to do, X's and O's.
Well, speaking of that, you're totally correct, Rise Up. But speaking of that, we got a man that can tell us all about the sideline and the crow nest up there. We have number 70, Wesley Britt. He is a 3 times first team All SEC team player.
That's right.
Mr. Wesley Britt. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Lord, you look like you're 20. What are you doing, man? You look, God almighty. I mean, hold up. Before you say anything, let me make sure I'm reading this right. You signed with Alabama in 2000. You took a red shirt. And then you got all these 3 times all SEC from 2001, 2002, and 2003. And you look like you're 20? What? Dude, I'm so jealous, man. Look at this gray right
I'm
here.
bringing you around with me everywhere. I like that. Hey, will you tell my wife that?
Is she there? Is she driving? Is she there? Dude, man, it's awesome to have you, brother. I mean, seriously, number 70. I mean, God, you don't know how many times, because I'm an old offensive lineman myself, and I'm one of these crazy fans who, when I watch a game, I don't see the big picture. I focus in on hand placement, foot motions.
That's where it is.
Changing off. I focus on that on the line, and you were a master of it, dude. You was so great at it. It's all right. I'm gonna before his head blows
that's
up.
What it is. It's about.
I gotta back out for a minute.
But that's everywhere. It's little things in life, little things in football. If you don't have the right footwork, the right hand placement, if you don't keep your head out of the blocks, you're not going to win. Same thing in life. If you don't do the little things correct, if you don't treat people right, it's the little things. Work hard, treat people right, and do the right thing. You're not going to win.
All right.
You are so correct. Rise up. Go ahead, man.
I have a question for him. Being from an Alabama native, you're from Coleman, coming out of Coleman High School. Was it always a dream of yours to sign and go to Alabama, or did you have some other schools that you maybe, thought?
Yeah. So did somebody put you up to that question?
No,
That's
I'm
actually
just curious.
really. So I actually, it's funny the way that God works. I actually grew up a huge Auburn fan, and now you got to keep that secret. Now, don't tell that to anyone. But my second
I'm
week
gonna
in my
mute him
senior
right
year,
now.
yeah, my second week of my senior year, I got a call from the offensive line coach at Auburn. Said, "Wes, I'll be honest with you, I don't think you'll ever be good enough to play in the SEC, and definitely not at Auburn." So that was the
Wow.
end of that. That was the end of that, and
Wow.
so the next time I saw him was in Atlanta, and he was presenting the Suge Jordan Award for the best offensive lineman in the SEC and the ACC, and I won it. So that was a things happen for a reason, but it's definitely a dream come true. Just an unbelievable experience to be able to drape that crimson jersey over my shoulder pads. The same one Cornelius Bennett, Joe Namath, Derek Thomas, some of the greatest football players to ever wear cleats. And I got to put on the same jersey, run through, and there's no people ask me about what's the best thing about playing football at any level, whether it's the NFL or the New England Patriots playing with Tom Brady. And I love playing with my teammates in high school, junior high, pee-wee, wee-wee on up, Fireplug. But there's nothing like whenever you're standing in the tunnel with a bunch of boy dogs and the TV guy sitting there. I'm still the hair on the back of my neck's raising up thinking about it. And when the TV guy's standing right there and he's getting a countdown to whenever the $1 million band, then he says, "All right, 5, 4, 3." That $1 million band starts lighting
chills
up.
on me, man.
Yeah, Alabama. Oh, it's go time, baby. You
Yes,
gotta release the house. Let's do this. There's nothing.
Sorry. Ain't even football season yet, and I feel it.
I know. I'm ready now.
All right, I got one for
Man,
you.
that's crazy. That's
Go
crazy.
ahead.
It is.
No, I'm just saying that's crazy that Auburn told this guy this, and then he ends up being, the Jacobs Trophy for blocking. He gets all these accolades when they told him that they didn't think he was good enough to make it in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, but think about it. How many times have you there's always people doubting us, telling us you can't do this, you can't do that. But God puts people in a reason and places for a reason, and we can do anything we want. That's what makes this country so great. If we want to work hard, we can do whatever we want.
That's the truth.
Sir. Speaking of God and football, which I am a big supporter of both. Well, Alabama football. God all the time, 100%. But anyway, with that being said, could you, if you don't mind, tell the young players coming out of high school now that are having to deal with the NIL deals and just all this pressure on them from a personal perspective that you had, because you did have one blink of an eye, you broke your leg in the game.
That's right.
So your career could be over with in one play. How important it is to get your education so you can better yourself in life, better your family, and be a supporter. Would you mind talking about that?
Yeah, I think that with the focus so much and everything seems to be revolving around money, that's not what it's about in it's a short-term play, no matter how you look at it, because it's about the character that you build, the things that you're learning on the field that I use every day, how to pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
He kind of froze up.
Well, yeah, it kind of froze up. Well, he is driving, so, the internet connection.
Yeah.
Let's see if he come back. But when he comes back, I'm gonna have to rebuttal a little bit when he gets back on here. I'm gonna have to rebuttal a little bit on.
I wouldn't be able to do anything.
There he is.
With. All
right, you're gonna have to back up a little bit. We lost you for about 30 seconds.
Are we breaking up?
Yeah, we lost you for 30 seconds ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I here?
Yeah, he's breaking it. All right.
Anyway, hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me better now?
It's gonna reload, but I'm gonna have to let him know because it's like I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's
And that's
talking,
what
Spencer. I can
it's
hear him.
all about.
Oh, there he is. Okay, he's called in. Excellent. Go ahead, sir.
I'm back. Good. Yeah, it's about the education and doing the right thing, that who you are as a person. And you see it on the field now too. You're starting to see it with this new generation, for the offensive linemen in particular. You can see it on, like we were talking about, on the line where on the line where the little things matter, but you also got to have that blue collar mentality. Where you're going out to make blocks. You're going to do what it takes. You're going to be a teammate. But now you see everybody wants to be a star, and you can't be that. You got to figure out how you're going to impact and how you're going to help the team win. And then the education side point of it, even if you're Tom Brady, who he's made enough money, but he's still 45, which seems ancient in football terms. In football terms, that's ancient, but in life, that's so young. And so if he didn't have education, something to fall back on too, because you're driven, you always got to be produced. That's why you see people, even with careers, when they get done playing football, they're lost because they don't have that drive, that motivation to put toward other opportunities. I think so. There's nothing more important than taking advantage of opportunities, and what a tremendous opportunity to get an education, especially at the University of Alabama.
I have to agree with everything you just said, sir, except for the very first part before we lost your video. But thank you for coming in on the he's back.
I'm back.
Oh, that's what it is. I see how it's going to be. He's driving in the car, just going to call in just to mess with it. Well, he's got a sense of humor. I like that about him.
I'm back.
Hey, brother. Anyway, what I was going to say before you started all that cutting out, playing with the stuff, is when you was talking about the it's not all about the money. Coming from Sand Mountain, Alabama.
Oh yeah, I got family in Boaz.
You are? Well, I'm from Booger Hill, Alabama.
Okay,
right there in Flat Rock.
Boaz.
Right there in Flat Rock. Graduated from Pisgah in '81. But anyway, we're from the poor side of the mountain. That's the poor side. Money means a lot when you don't have none been raised up.
Yeah.
And I understand. Believe me, I'm 60 years old, and I understand how these young men can look at them little dollars, and I'm sorry, but 80 grand is small dollars when you're looking at your lifetime.
Right.
You want to buy a car. Your car's going to run you at least 50 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not for top end.
Yeah.
So that ain't really that much money.
No, that's right. And you're thinking short term. All of us guys do it younger, especially when we're younger. Is taking the long road about it,
right?
And building that brand, the education, because that's where, like you said, the 80 grand is a ton. That's a lot of money, but in the big picture, it's not.
Right. So let me cut to the chase. I got to ask this question: how do we, as fans, because it's going to have to start with us, how do we get God back into football? Because he's the only one that's going to be able to make the difference.
That's right. That's a good question. I think, that's a good question, because there are still a lot. I've never like Dr. Kramer, so I'm still close with it. Leads FCA at the University of Alabama. Jeremiah Castile, great Christian leader. And there are a lot of people of faith. It's just that we may not always celebrate. You got these the small groups of people that will criticize people for celebrating their faith, but we don't always celebrate with the athletes and thank them publicly. Thank them going on Facebook. Hey, thank you for your faith. Thank you for putting that cross on your tape. Thank you for giving credit to the Almighty for giving us the opportunity to be here. That's a really good question. Something that I'm definitely going to think more about. But I think it starts by just, like, as fans, talking about it. And it's not always hard, because we all make mistakes. We all fall short of the glory, and so we don't want to take the splinter out of somebody else's eye before we take the plank out of our own. So it's tough. but I think that's a good it's the little, like you said, it's the little things.
But it got to start with us because everything starts with the fans. The contract money. What does it start? TV money. It all starts with us. Who's tuning in? Who's watching? So it's going to take us, like you say, addressing the young athletes who are willing to come out and pray to God, bring God in to back them, give them support.
Yeah.
Now this is coming from a man who I'm ex-Navy, sir. My vocabulary is really not. God will strike me down in any given minute.
I understand, brother.
But we all have to agree when people were praying in the middle of the circle, not by choice, by free will. After a game, after you just went into battle one another, you just went into arena, you just gave the people who spending money a show. And then everybody, the ones who wanted to, come out to the middle of the field and knelt down and prayed to God. And the coach giving you leadership, the staff giving you leadership, the high school giving you leadership and guidance, developed you as a man. Now, through politics and all this, now that's leading up to something else. Anyway, politics and all this, it's being divided.
Yeah. And there was a good Supreme Court case recently.
Yes.
That said that is not freedom from religion, it's freedom of religion that's protected in our Constitution. So I'm glad we now know from the highest court in the land that has made it very clear that it is perfectly within the Constitution. It is right and wrong, but it's within the Constitution for us to celebrate our faith, which is good because Lord knows they're celebrating everything else that isn't necessarily what we want our children to look at.
Right. I
mean, go ahead, rise up. I'm sorry, I get carried away. I know I'm a simple man, but I do get carried away. I'm a God-fearing man. I love him to death. But go ahead.
No, you good. I was just gonna kind of like piggyback on what you said. You look at how they treated Tebow. You follow? Yep. They treated him bad, like he was doing something against God's law and man's law. You know, I'm like, come on, man, this guy's praying. You act like he's on the field with no clothes on or something.
Yeah, like that's how bad. Yes. Oh, you know what? The crazy thing is, he probably would have been celebrated if he would have done that.
Right. Everything that's bad is good, and everything that's good is now turn bad. It's just that's what we are.
Yeah, bizarre. It's bizarre.
It's horrible. It's weird.
But all we can do is focus on what we can do. And as fans, as you have a loud microphone, is to support folks who are out sharing their faith.
Well, give that some good thought, and I would like to have you back sometime, and let's come up with a game plan how we as fans can help.
I like that.
I'm a dumb old man. I work too much, and I ain't gonna lie about it. We have a Tuesday night show. On CTS called the Four Horsemen, and we do have to put up the TVMA up before we start the show because we don't hold nothing back. So we are not. I'm telling you right now, we are not the preachers.
Oh, I know.
We all believe in God. We love God, and if there's anything that we can do to help promote the game, and it's going to take God to promote the game because everything is going sideways, we need to bring it back into perspective. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'll be one of the first ones to help back you, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I look forward to getting back anytime.
Well, we love it, man.
And I can't wait for this game.
I'm jealous though
to get going.
I don't understand how you keeping that black beard. I do. I am very
there's more grays coming out every day.
And also, William, Skip had to congratulate his wife on.
Thank you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay. It was absolutely incredible. Thank you. It's that was an incredible journey, and still is. We still got we still have several more months to go till November to win it. But people of Alabama deserve it. They deserve somebody who's going to fight. Yeah, that's right. The little it is. But that's what they, our people deserve. Our good folks deserve somebody who's going to fight for them and fight for what we need for people to live and to grow and to prosper.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, is your wife there by you, near you?
She is not right now. She is not.
Okay. Well, do you got anything you would like to talk about? How proud you of her for taking on her beliefs and wanting to run for senator of Alabama and take on the hate and the love at the same time?
Right. And I think it's just, God puts us in different places for a time, for a purpose. And I think a purpose is giving back and helping people and using the tools and the talents that he's bestowed upon us to glorify his kingdom. And there's nobody that cares for people more deeply and is able to get stuff done like Katie. It's incredible. I can't wait for everybody to see what I've been seeing for the past 20 years. It's 22 years, I guess, we've been best friends now. Married 15, and it's incredible the impact that she'll have on people, and that's the people in our country, and just making it so it's a place where people can provide. People can provide for their families. Where people back to where our core, or the fabric of our country, is what we founded on, and which we believe is Christian conservative principles. And where somebody wants to work hard, get ahead, they have that opportunity. We got to make sure we protect that for our generations, for our children.
I agree with you totally, sir. And I'm so proud of your wife for doing this.
Me too.
But you know what the great thing is? Seriously, sir, she couldn't have done this without the support of you. Because she has to know she has a strong man and God behind her to make this all happen. And it took everything you've went through in your life to be God to place you in this position to be her supporter. And for that, I support you and salute you, sir.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you for being in the Navy, for being for being willing to sacrifice, give the greatest sacrifice for our country. I mean, that's incredible. We're doing, our life's not on the line, hopefully, but you never know today. But man, it's humbling to be a part of it. And and like I said, like back to where like God providing for you and putting you in places, even as simple as me being an offensive lineman. I'm not the quarterback. I'm a blue collar guy. It just works. And I just do what I can to help the team move forward and win.
Go ahead, Rise Up. And I'm gonna come back. I disagree with that comment he just made. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rise Up. And I'll come back to it.
Hey man, we saw what happened this past season in Alabama, right? We know without no line, everything else crumbles. So you cannot take the lineman out of. You can't take the old line off like they're just they're just the helpers. No. You can't. No. We saw 43 times this man got sacked, and we're not talking about rushes. We're talking about 43 times.
That's unbelievable.
So don't never say that you just, man, if it wasn't for the line, we go back to 2020.
Yeah.
Right.
And look at that line and look at what Alabama did. And we go to 2021, look at that line, and they're never down for the O-line. Never down for the O-line.
Yeah, I love that offensive line back to the days with like Warmack and DJ Fluker, Barrett Jones. Man, that line was nasty. That line was nasty. I love watching them play. They would gain ground on that first step and just punish people. I like it, like me and like I remember like playing out there with like Justin Smiley from Elbell, Georgia, Evan Mathis. Man, we were just like, because I loved it because we were. The last thing we wanted is to get beat, to get put on roller skates or something, because we knew we were going to hear about that for the rest of our lives. And so we were just out there trying to punish people every play. We couldn't wait to watch the film afterwards. But that's hit diving over piles trying to take somebody's helmet off.
I've got to ask you before I go any further, because I don't know how much we kind of was told at the last minute that they're going to have to bring the A team over, the primetime team over tonight. Do you have time to go a little bit further? Do you need to go, sir?
I got a couple more minutes.
Oh, cool. I got all kinds of questions. Look here, bro. I got you right
You
here.
prepared. I like
got
that.
stuff I want to know.
Yeah.
All right. Right off. Well, I'm going to feed off the one y'all just talked about.
Okay.
What does it take for a offensive lineman to be nasty? Is it born in them? Is it something they can teach, or do you got it or you don't?
That's a good question. I think it's born in it for some people, and I don't because being a bigger person, you're always told growing up that be careful. Don't, you got to walk around like you're
hard. Be careful. Don't push. Don't
don't
too hard
because they're harder on you, and you're bigger, and being bigger, you're always better in the line growing up until you get to Alabama. But it was. But you need somebody if you're not born with it. Because I remember my freshman year, we were out of training, we were in camp, and back then your parents could actually go to practice, because that was Dubose.
Right.
Dabo Sweeney recruited me, and he'd let family come watch practice. My dad would come out there some, and it was like the first training camp, and my dad he kind of got him at me. He said, Wesley, if you're not going to hit people, if you're not going to be out there giving it all you got and trying to hurt folks every practice, you just need to go back to Coleman. There's no sense in you being out here. And and there's no sense in you being out here. And, I want to see you give it everything you got on every single play or go home. And that after he jerked me to the side, because it wasn't necessarily ingrained in it wasn't necessarily who I was. Probably I was always a hard worker, blue collar guy, putting in septic tanks growing up or doing demolition with dad. But to actually go out there and be nasty, have that nasty mean streak, was something that I had to build. Because it was like, and after that conversation, the next day, I'll never forget it. I got put. You remember Kenny Smith, who was, just a tremendous defensive lineman, big old dude, huge. I played with him in New England, great guy, but he had a mean streak. And they put me and him. And he was a junior, maybe his junior year was All-American, and then that was his senior year. And they put me and him in the just mano a mano on the board drills. And I said, all right, let's see what we got. And because I guess they want to see what I had. And then I got the best of him that play. And I was like, you know what, I got this. You got to believe yourself. After getting the best of Kenny that play, man, it was from that point on, it was just that is kind of like a flip. The switch was flipped. It's a good question.
You just brought back a flashback in my head. I'm sorry, it's like being military again, but anyway, you brought a flashback of him pancaking somebody, and he wouldn't stand over him. He just put his hand up, shook his head, and walked away. Yeah, I mean, it was that kind of nasty. I remember
He was nasty like that. I mean, that whole defensive line. I mean, we had some really good players on that team. Yeah, Jared Johnson, because it was like that same camp. I got because Jared had started as a freshman in '99 in the 2000 camp. We were preseason number 2 or 3, and then Jared, I got the best of him, and my helmet came off during the play. He literally got up and just jacked me right in the jaw because he was so mad. And then we just went at it. And I was like, all right, let's go. We don't do this. Hey, we don't do this. Let's do it. Of course, we're best friends off the field, but that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And now I don't even know. Yeah, now I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if that still goes on. But that definitely made people tougher, and you didn't want to, It was like Navy. It was like the Navy for you,
All right, rise up. You got one more for him, and I got one more too. And
I have one more.
Time, my brother. I appreciate you, sir. But we're starstruck. I mean, I know you don't see it that way, but for us to be in your presence and get to ask you questions,
Right.
dude, man, it's like a bucket list type deal. I can check off my life before I go to God. Seriously. So rise up. What you got, man?
I just ask him, we're in the NIL time and we're in the transfer portal days. Now, back in the day when you were playing, that really didn't exist. How do you feel about the transfer portal? It's so easy to say, hey, I don't like it here. I'm going to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't like the transfer portal. I don't think it's good for the game. I don't think it's a good lesson you're teaching young men where, hey, things get tough. You don't want to work for it. Hey, just transfer. What do then guess what? Things are gonna get tough in your marriage. Things are gonna get tough for your kids. We're gonna just enter the portal.
Right.
Just leave. Right. And I think we're teaching that to a whole generation. But I will say the NCAA bears a lot of the blame for it because for years they just operated as basically like communist. And it's just there were people, there's movies about it where people had legitimate reasons with the NCAA programs where you could transfer if you went before a panel and talked to them if you had a good reason for it. And they would just say no. They would just say without any reason. It was just just a small group of guys just get in there and just tell you no, and didn't care anything about you. That was, I think that was there. We may not have gotten to this point if the NCAA would have acted correctly.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
In my opinion.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because there are people. There are times that, I had a friend who actually had a child and wanted to be closer to his parents and his wife's parents, and they wouldn't let him leave. And so, but it was crazy. But then we didn't lose any. But one thing I'm most proud of actually is when we got put on probation. Then Franchoni left, and it was a time when anybody could have transferred without cause because of the conditions.
Right.
And we didn't lose one player to transfers.
Right.
Because there's something special about wearing that, like we were talking about, wearing that crimson jersey, being able to put that on it's the thing I'm most proud of is being part of that team where we all went through it and stuck together and fought for Alabama, fought as a team.
Right. Okay.
That's the Bama way right there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we're missing now. That's what we need to get back to, in my opinion.
Yep.
Nothing gets my coach Saban. I love him to death.
Right.
But it's the players' mindset, not his. It's the players.
Yeah.
And, but for the last question, sir, and I promise I'll get you out of here.
On that,
like I
before
said,
you
I'm
get
just
to that last question, Spencer.
Yeah.
On that too, I think we saw it with like Scott Cochran in the weight room. I think it starts in the weight room because the NCAA also, for whatever reason, put that 20-hour work rule where coaches can't be with you. It's like, how do you expect for these coaches to be mentors to young men if they're only with them 20 hours and they can't even see them? Otherwise, they got rid of the dorms and everything. I don't know if that's changed since, but it's a terrible rule. But your strength coach was the only coach that was with you all the time. The only coach that had those exemptions. So that's where, like Scott Cochran, what that mentality of the teams whenever he was the strength and conditioning coach, and what he brought to Georgia now too is just, man, he does it. He gets that mentality back in with the team, and that's the only way I see that you can effectively transfer that to the team from the coaching staff is through the strength and conditioning program.
Yeah.
Let's go. He said after the primary.
There you go.
Yeah. After the primary, he sent Katie a little video. He said, yeah. Let's go, girl. It's the fourth quarter. You're going into overtime. It was awesome. It was like, hey, let's do this.
I love it. God, I love it.
A couple weeks before the election, it was great.
All right, my last one, so you can get out of here unless you want to. We can go another hour if you want to. But anyway, my last one right here. And it's actually to the Georgia fans. Now, it's actually to all fans because Alabama fans, we've been living through it for years.
Yep.
But it took Bama from 1979 to 1992 to win another championship.
Mm-hmm.
It also took from 1992 to 2009 to win another championship. Can you kind of go in how hard it is and what it takes? And you just can't think because you won one this past year that it's going to come every year.
Right.
Players, I mean, it's too hard. Can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Yeah. First, you're talking about the Georgia fans. Katie was on a panel with Herschel Walker a couple of weeks ago. He's already running his mouth about next year. So we got to get, I think that's what keeps it going back and forth, because this last thing we want to hear is, that's what we're definitely motivated by that. But that's what you go in every year thinking you're going to win the championship. And that's the mindset you have to have. But it's incredibly hard to do that. And actually, I may be one of the few people to be at Alabama for 5 years, and then to be at the New England Patriots for 4.5 years during this modern era, and not have a Super Bowl championship. I won an AFC championship or a national championship. And that's one thing that our coaches Belichick used to talk about a lot, is even when we were 18-0 and then went to play the Giants Super Bowl 42, is that and this was with 3 under his belt already within the past 8 years, is that this is incredibly rare. This is something you work every day, and you cannot take anything for granted. Incredibly rare, that just the opportunity, and to do it is there's only one a year, and everybody wants it.
How come you don't bring up the San Diego Chargers? You got drafted.
Yeah.
Why come you don't talk about that?
That was a good experience. It really was. Learned a lot. That was just, that you talking about times where you got to figure out what you're made of.
Yeah.
And see where you stand. Because at San Diego, because like you said, a 3-time SEC, Jacobs, some other things, and then drafted by the Chargers. I broke my leg in Senior Bowl, and then I was cut after the 4th preseason game. And so, and hopefully not, and I don't know if anybody's ever experienced this before, but being fired from your job whenever you're at the top of it is tough. And being fired from your job, and it's on the ticker on ESPN, and everybody in your hometown is talking about it, that's a gut check. That's a real gut check. I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to, I was fortunate as a time where I didn't have children, and it did happen again with the Patriots when I did have when my wife was pregnant with our second child. But that's, looking back, I'm incredibly grateful for that experience to grow and to look back and figure out what you were made out of. Because it was insanely tough, and then getting fired, and then getting on a plane that night. Fortunately, the Patriots picked me up. It's 9:00 at night. I got on a plane to fly from San Diego to Boston, and got in Boston at 6 a.m, and then had practices that day. And then of course, like I was telling about, like Richard's with Jared Johnson, your first day on the thing, they put me against Richard Seymour. Right. And he was gonna try me, so I'm gonna give him everything I got, man. It's and Richard, another Georgia Bulldog, and Seymour, he is a boy dog. Now he really is great guy off the field. Hate his guts on the field, but that's what you want in a player. But that was playing out there. My best memory from playing out San Diego is my very first preseason game. It wasn't even in San Diego, but the good folks. But my very first good story, we were at Green Bay, and so we go to Green Bay to play my very first NFL game. You look at the Ring of Honor. Right. The Ring of Honor there, and you seeing all these greats, and a lot of Alabama greats, Bart Starr, and just like in that very first, so we won the toss, deferred to the second half. We kick off, touchback. Then Brett Favre drops back the very first play, throws an 80-yard touchdown pass to Donald Driver. I'm on the sideline just being a football fan. I'm like, dude, did y'all see that? That was awesome. Drew Brees looked at me like I had a third eye. I was like, Wesley, shut up. What? They are not. That is not awesome.
Well, if you don't mind me asking real quick, how did
Well, he froze up there.
been let go from San Diego?
How did what now?
How did you deal with it? You was at San Diego. They cut you. Your gut. You knew you were one of the greatest. You know, or you're up there at your prime, and they let you go. Like you said, you was on a plane. Then a Patriots call. But that time in between, where most guys would either went berserk, turned to drugs, or they'd done something crazy during that time. How did you personally deal with it?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was tough. One thing I did do a lot of prayer, but and I got out a notebook, just a regular loose leaf notebook, one that I was taking notes for football, my football stuff, and I wrote like 5 pages of things that I felt like I could improve upon as an offensive lineman, and then things mentally that I needed to improve upon, where my head needed to be, and what I can and can't do, and also wrote up my goals, what I stood for through thick and thin. And you always say like character is when it's just you in the mirror, and you're looking at yourself and figuring out what you stand for. And I wanted to make sure I tried to stand for what I did, stand for the values in the good times and the bad was the main thing. And then to figure it out, and then knowing I'd do anything to.
You're an angel.
To get better.
That's all I can say, brother. And I'm gonna go ahead and let you slide out of here. But I gotta thank you. Right. And I honestly believe, because everything you said tonight is going to affect some young person's life down the road in athletes, because what you went through and how you dealt with it, and it still comes back to God.
It does.
I mean, your belief in yourself, and your belief in God supporting you. And thank you, sir. It's been an honor, brother. You have no clue. Yeah. As soon as we hang up, I'm gonna get here and run around the building 3 times. I'm that excited. Seriously, I'm that excited, man. You have no clue. I'm an old offensive lineman, brother, and you was one of the greatest. This has been an honor to me. Thank you.
Let's get. I want to get up to Sand Mountain sometime and get back and see some folks. I got to get back to Albertville. That complex they have in Albertville now is crazy. Have you been to that yet?
No, sir, I haven't. I work all the time now. I'm old.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I hope hopefully you'll have me back on sometime. I'd love that.
Appreciate it.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
See you, sir.
See you guys.
Thank you.